charging ahead at about 60 miles per hour. This 2022 Rivian R1T all-electric truck tears right through the steel guardrail. Watch again, it barely slows down before flying over the concrete barriers. In another crash test, this Tesla Model 3 lifts a guardrail, passing underneath it. The alarming results of a recent University of Nebraska-Lincoln study highlight a growing risk on roadways with more heavier EVs and gas-powered vehicles.
In the 90s, lightweight pickups and SUVs made up about 10 to 15% of vehicles on the roads. Now that number has jumped to 50%. So are guardrails across the country keeping up with this trend and ultimately keeping us safe?
As more vehicles become heavier and their centers of gravity change and their geometries change and move towards more electrification, we're going to have to prepare new roadside infrastructure to capture these vehicles as well.
If something isn't done now, what do you fear will happen down the road?
We will continue to lose people.
In 2016, Stephen Eimer's daughter, Hannah, died in a different kind of guardrail collision in Tennessee.
I knew my daughter was dead at 17 years old. That same trauma that I've experienced is experienced by families on an almost daily basis across the United States.
I'm out here on US 321.
Stephen has turned his tragedy into a lifelong mission to improve guardrail safety.
And that's my goal now, is to rob America's streets of future victims of traffic violence caused by guardrails.
According to the Federal Highway Administration, guardrails can lessen the severity of crashes, but they cannot completely protect drivers in every situation.
The goal of the guardrail is to deflect the vehicle back onto the roadway and keep it from going to a place where it would be in much bigger trouble. In this case, it's the drop-off.
Transportation expert Kevin Heaslip says guardrail safety has improved over the years, but these infrastructure updates do take time and vary from state to state.
If the standard change, that doesn't mean all of the infrastructure changes right away.
These roadside staples are now being put to a new test, with cars of the future exposing potential hazards. Kathy Park, NBC News, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.